of applause right now to the Story Chicks.
The story you're about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Hello. Hello. How to ride a bicycle in 10 easy steps. 1. Find a safe place to practice. Concrete is the easiest surface to bike on, but is unforgiving if you fall. 2. If it is your first time riding, consider lowering the seat so that you can put most of your feet on the ground at the same time when seated. 3. Make sure you know how to brake. While practicing, it's a good idea to allow yourself a long distance over which to brake gently so that you feel prepared to dismount if necessary. 4. Mount the bicycle. With the seat lowered, this should be a breeze. 5. Practice balancing on the bike. 6. Pedal from a complete stop on the flat area. Make sure the pedal your foot is currently on is level with the other free pedal. Then begin pushing it down with that foot as you lift the other foot onto the pedal and begin pedaling and braking, pedaling and braking, pedaling and braking. 7. Try pushing yourself along fast and gliding with your feet in the air, steering only with your hands. Practice gliding down gentle slopes. When you're comfortable coasting, pedaling, and braking in a straight line, practice steering slightly to the right or left. 8. Don't rush. Start out slow if it's your first time. 9. Keep your arms relaxed as you learn to balance. The design of the bike makes it want to balance, as long as you don't interfere with it too much. This is the reason why some people can ride with no hands. And 10, make sure you know how to ride a bike safely. Be patient and don't be afraid of falling down from the bike. It helps to become friends. So thank you so much.
Bites and busted lips. Oh, you wanted one. I wanted one. Every kid wanted one. A bike. Yeah, the ultimate birthday and Christmas surprise. Oh, give me a Schwinn, butterfly bars, big kid wheels, a shiny grown-up red radio flyer. I remember my first bike. Standard issue. It wasn't this small. But it came with surefire safety training wheels. My feet could barely reach the pedals. I had to stand pump that bike round and round my block. I worked hard at pumping and practicing daredevil moves, tilting my bike to just one trainer lifted off the ground. Yeah, I was bold. Well, occasionally I let go of the handlebars and sat back on that banana seat and coasted in the wind. Whoopee, yeah! Look at me! No hands! Eventually, over a period of time, my daddy lifted those wheels slowly off the ground, allowing me to sail with freedom. And one day, those trainers came completely off. Yeah, and I flew like the wind, up and down Knox Street, twisting around corners, racing friends.
On your mark.
We would line up our bikes at the end of the street.
On your mark. Get set. Go!
Oh, and I took off, pushing and pumping, aiming my wheels for a finish line at the end of the street. Yeah. As soon I got cocky, I ventured into speed racing. Yeah. Daredevil turns around the corner, tilting my wheels 45-degree angles to asphalt. Slick and quick, AJ Foyt on 2 wheels. Wait till I show my daddy. Oh, and the day came when all my aunts and uncles, cousins, and neighbors, and anybody else who wanted to show up, came to a barbecue, and I was ready. Primped and primed, in my purple taffeta dress with petticoat puckering, patent leather shoes. I jumped up on my bike and I pumped up the crowd. Uncle Bill, Daddy, y'all watch what I can do. Watch when I come around the corner. Now, don't you forget to watch. Well, I took off, flying like the wind, revving up my speed as I approached the treacherous corner. Slipped on one side into a drainage ditch. Eyes were glued to the pavement as the corner came into view. And with precision, I calculated my move, steering my wheel to turn just at the right moment. Watch me! And then I felt my mistake as the front tire slid across a dirt patch, skidding out of control. The black tar smashing my face as I barely missed rolling into the ditch. And I lay there, stunned, bewildered. What happened? And then it hit me. My humiliation, my busted pride. But that wasn't the only thing busted. I looked down at my scraped knees, gravel buried in blood, and my skinned hands, and the blood dripping from my bottom lip. I had busted my lip open, and the blood was pulling onto the asphalt. Suddenly, I knew I had to regain my self-esteem. So, I picked up my bike, and I walked back to the house, my lip dripping and sore. And I walked up with my head held high up the front porch, pushed out my protruding lip and said, "It doesn't hurt much." Yeah.
I spent my first decade in petticoat stuffed plaid dresses. P-L-E-I-double-D-R-E-double-S-E-S. How many dresses did she have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Small roomful. And slick, round-toed, deadly Mary Jane! Big M-A-R-Y, big J-N-E-S. How many times did she slip in her shoes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. La 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 la. No, I don't know. I don't know how many times I slipped on the asphalt in my non-grip shoes, hell-bent on slick leather. At lunch and recess at Summit School in the Upper Ojai Valley. You know, what is utterly astounding to me is how I continue to tear up my knees on the blacktop, slipping on the soles of those shiny black death slippers, strapping my feet into those torpedoes, destined to blast my kneecaps apart every day. Well, the flesh above my shins, the color of my favorite red plaid school dress. I watched scars come and go all over the lower terrain of my nobular scabified limbs. But girls, well, they just wore those things. Slick shoes and puffy skirts. Yeah, but girls could still kick the heck out of a swiftly served kick bowl in a breakneck game of
Danish rounders! Welcome, sports fans, to the kickball playoffs on big asphalt playground at Summit School in the Upper Ohio Valley. Well, there's Kathy Thompson, star pitcher of the Slimy Skinks. Oh, and it's little Chrissy Erickson, star kicker of the Scabby Scoundrels, her nemesis. This should be quite the shoodown. And we have the pitch and the kick. Ooh, what a whack that was. And little Chrissy is running and running and tagging and turning and slipping. Ooh. And careening sideline from a home run. She's safe. But look at those knees.
oh, ow, 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 oh, ow. I did it again. Oh, ow, oh. I guess there was no alternative to that 1958 fashion, or why would my mother, stings, have sent me off to the one-room schoolhouse on the summit and padded for a whole foot at the hips with petticoats, but letting my paw-bandaged taut-toned knees remain unprotected year after year, game after game. Ow! Jump rope after jump rope session, sliding to double knee doom. Sometimes I'd swear off kickball while I healed. Ow, ow, ow. Opting for tetherball, where a good smack in the face never gave me anything more than a strawberry. For the big swing. Yeah. Where my skirts and panoples and long bandaged knobs were perfectly suited for slicing the air and parachuting out. Wah! To a doom never as predictable as slipping at 80 miles per hour on the blacktop in slick-soled black patent leather. Mary Jane. Yeah, 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, 7, 8. Kathy Thompson was my best girlfriend. Actually, she was my only girlfriend in the class of 1961 at Summit School. From 3rd to 6th grade, we're the only girls in our class. Well, and obviously sat next to each other. Sometimes we were the only kids in our class. Small class. So, Kathy Thompson and I had a real love-hate relationship. Especially one fateful day in 6th grade. Now, 3 grades in one room, got along pretty well. Our desks, you know those all-in-one wooden swivel seat? Yeah, lift up the lid, hold for the inkwell kind of desks. Yeah, they're lined up. On one side of the room for 4th grade, another side for 5th grade. Big class that year. And then the best side for 6th grade. Yeah, because we were near the cloakroom, the door to recess, the restroom, and the pencil sharpening. Now, at school I was very dramatic. Yeah. I never simply walked anywhere. Oh no, I surged out the door, swung around the pole right outside the classroom 3 times around, catapulting myself first in line for recess, all starting from my desk, closest to the door. Okay, do you have the picture? Good. Now, on that fateful day, while I was gone to the restroom, Kathy Thompson took her number 2 newest yellow pencil, sharpened it to a deadly point, held it up right on my swivel seat, and waited for my return. Dun 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 dun. So, when I flipped back into the room, twirled into my swivel seat, I plopped right onto the graphite point of Kathy Thompson's number 2 deadly weapon. Yahoo! Wah! Yeah! Kathy, why did you do that, Kathy?
I thought it would be funny.
Oh, not bad. Do you think that was funny? All I can say is it gives real meaning to the term lead bottom. Oh. In fact, it was years before the graphite dot eventually faded from my left buttock. I was caught up short and shot up straight and had to sit side saddle for several weeks. After the pencil in the chair incident. You know, my slick shoes and puffy skirts may have destroyed my knees as I raced across the asphalt. But when I encountered the graphite point held tight in Kathy Thompson's fist, I believe my petticoats saved my butt. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Head and shoulders, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees and toes. Knees and toes.
Flying balls. There are times in our lives when we experience head traumas. And moments when we fail to duck and cover. When standing on a pitcher's mound, facing a formidable batter, or the sole survivor in a diabolical game of dodgeball, facing flying objects at G-force speed, balls hurling towards you, can cause intense anxiety and fear. Your heart begins to beat fast and your palms begin to sweat. And the amygdala sends signals to the brain to run. Instead, you freeze. A terrestrial encounter with a flying ball disaster can traumatize you for life, prevent you from engaging in any future sports events, especially those involving balls. I know this as a truth in my own youthful experience with balls. Well, it all began one Saturday afternoon when I was about 4 or 5, small or young enough to still require a high chair at the table. I don't think it's funny. Well, Mom and Daddy were busy that day around the house, thus I was left to indulge in my favorite pastime. Reading! Yes, this was my sport of choice. It gave me such satisfaction and total bliss. It was a meditative muse and where I chose to ignore everybody and everything around me.
I want to know where we are.
Do not disturb me. Don't talk to me right now. I was a kid with standards. Meanwhile, in our front yard, my brother Jimmy and sister Darla were pitching ball, baseball. And they were sailing that ball back and forth over the concrete sidewalk bisecting our little front lawn. And the soft thud of the ball hit and resonated as it hit their gloves and hands. It was kind of this monotonous metronome keeping tempo to pitch. Well, somewhere inside the house, my mama shouted,
Terry, go outside and tell the others to come on in now and eat.
well, reminding my mama, I dropped my book and I dashed out that door intent on delivering that message as quickly as I could so I could get back to my book. And I raced down the front steps and I stood out on that walk right at the moment my brother released his power pitch. Splat! Blackout. Whoa. I came out of my coma and I found myself sitting in my high chair and my mama pressing an ice pack to my forehead.
What the hell happened? Didn't you see her? Look what you did, my little baby.
Upon inspection, my fingers found an egg-sized lump above my right eye. Oh, my head hurt something awful, and little lights danced before my eyes. And then I heard Jimmy say,
It wasn't my fault. She came right out in between us.
well, heck, I didn't even know they was playing ball. I didn't see it coming. So, no trial or jury is necessary. But if you examine the facts, my brother must have really sucked at pitching, because when that ball left his hand, it was low enough to hit me in the head. So therefore, in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I now understand why my heart beats fast and my hands get sweaty, and I have this intense desire to duck and cover around flying objects. It all began with this flying ball incident.
On our small ranch in Ojai, California in the late 1950s, we had lots of stuff to do. We played on our swing set endlessly. Oh, we turned an old door, dropped in a sea of tall green grass into a pirate ship for one fabulous fortnight. We rode our horses up and down the Great Hill and around in circles as we trained hard for our local Western horse shows. We colored in our precious coloring books and role-played with our 3 amazing Barbies, though our one Ken lost all his hair, catering to 3 demanding babes, little bald guy. And then we invented things, like a game of throwing shoes over the house, hollering, "Aye, aye, Fred!" Or turning our red radio flyer wagon into a one-wagon train, herding our 13 cats. Kind of worked, you know. But best of all, we invented the first ever Frisbees. Yeah, that was us. Okay, here's how it went down. One evening, my 2 little sisters and I secretly borrowed some of our 78 RPM records from our hi-fi, took sides across our long, narrow bedrooms. My 2 little sisters in both in their bunk beds, and me hunkered down behind my single bed in my own part of the room. And then we whirled and whizzed and sang those flying discs over our bed, back and forth, back, sit, duck, and forth. There's lots of fierce screaming and laughing, each of us somehow ducking and dodging those flying discs just in time. Woo! That was Patty mending our ships, taking those cannon charges across the bows of our bed, or simply girls gone wild, throwing sharp spinning phonograph records at each other. Either way, I didn't need a patch over my eye for any pirate games after that. Oh, outside Fred!
We are here to learn about the very serious nature of the pea in the pew. It all began with too much juice. Now, I warn you, this is not very pretty. There is madness in this Methodist tale. And so, Sunday school being held that Sunday morning upstairs in the dark, cavernous hall on the second floor, finally released the many children, and they poured, nay, flowed, into the light-filled sanctuary on the ground floor. White walls, white wooden pews, adults and children seated in neat rows in their Sunday best for a final few words and a slew of songs. However, behold our little Chrissy, who had to go.
I have to go to the bathroom.
Very badly.
No, I can't hold it. I gotta pee now.
And no, verily she could not wait, nor could she go in the normal earthly way. And her mother warned.
No, you'll just have to hold it till we're all done here.
And so it was done. Little Chrissy gave her offering down her into her shiny shoes, soaking her frilly steps. And so the parting of the small yellow sea began. And the congregants smiled past the holy pool, only to little Chrissy, who never felt better in her whole life.
Oh, that's better. What's for lunch?
And may this day be blessed. And you, my child. And you, and you, and you. Let it be done. Amen. In second grade, I sat in front of George Mitchell, our very own little Charlie Brown, his stubby head covered in bristles. Well, my head, my long braid, fell lusciously over the back of my chair, a temptation and mockery to George's stubby ends. Well, some days, George's fat fingers flipped my frayed ends that spewed from a wound rubber band. This is quite annoying. I coveted this braided extension of myself. It took years to produce. Well, one day, before I realized what was happening, snip, snip, snip. Scissors severed ends. Well, yeah, in truth, severed most of my braid from my head. I was mortified at this circumcision. I spun around and I found George holding my treasured braid in his hands like a token trophy. His face just glowing in prowess and ecstasy, as if he had taken down the largest beast in the forest. Well, I yelled in horror, "Teacher, teacher! Come investigate this personal atrocity! Examine the evidence! File a complaint! Punish the culprit for desecrating my beauty!"
George, put the scissors away.
Mrs. Foster walked over to me and pressed her bony fingers into my tiny shoulders and said,
Don't worry, honey. It's only hair. It'll grow back.
"Oh, Morris." I was flabbergasted at this denial of crime. "Retribution!" I screamed when arriving home. "Oh, call George's mommy now!" Oh. Nothing would ever replace my Rapunzel dream. What a disaster. I would just have to start over. Well, a remedy was a trip to my Aunt Ruth's garage, where she housed a barber chair and a makeshift beauty salon for the local ladies and unsuspecting nieces. Well, my mama knew the only solution was to cut off the remaining stuff. It was awful. I walked the long mile into the cavernous confines of the garage, plopped myself up onto the chair, and waited for transformation.
I help your Aunt Ruth all the time. Here, let me do it.
And with a whack and a snip, my Uncle Buddy had taken the scissors, finishing off what George had left, procuring another manly manifesto to my memory. Henceforth, my appearance resembled something close to a newborn chick. Feathery, uneven, chalk locks sprouted all over my head. Not unlike George's. Wow, paired with these ugly glasses, I was one strange bird.
What a disaster! I had my own precious reins, ropes grown halfway down my back, my brown braids. These snug, tight woven cords of hair tied me securely to a childhood, long, smooth tethers. My mother would comb my long, straight hair. Okay, right here. Ow, 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 comb, 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 ow, ow. Till it stood on its own, like a curtain. Then for the part. Starting right behind the line of my shag of bangs, a narrow pink path of skin, separated right from left. I held one tuft as she jerked the opposite side, strand across strand, as tight as I could bear it. Thick behind my ears, then thin and thinner, and caught with a rubber band, which I expertly held till just the right second, and she expertly banded with just the right leftover paintbrush at the end. I couldn't imagine living without these companions, these hair serpents, clean and obedient whiplash dancers, atoms on their quest of motion about my head as I hopscotch, jump, tether, dodge, and kickball. My two constant friends, Hyla, whoa, quirts, whoa, urging, raining me, braids, bolus, well, practical hair. When these extensions of me and my brain were perfectly plated, I was free to do my work, my child jobs, unencumbered. Oh, they stood me in good stead. All but once. One day, in the 5th grade, my braids became just too tempting for Frank. He grabbed one and held on. Oh, now, these being so me, I didn't find it cute. Ow, one's practical tools are not to be messed with. He held on, and I wrestled and protested. Frank, let go my braid. Frank, let go my braid. Frank, let go my braid. Until the cork, you know, the bottom where the 1, 2, 3 parts barely meet, but still make the undulating curves over and over. Until the end on my left braid exploded. Now the horror was this. The damage could not be repaired except by the expert stasis of cantilevered weavings and the intense teamwork of me and my mother. The day was only at noon, and my house was down the hill 1,000 miles. And I couldn't fix my own hair. Nobody ever taught me how to braid. I mean, what? I had to go in the bathroom. I looked in the mirror. Oh, my perfect, every hair in place was ruined on one side. What? I had to bandage the end. Halfway up, the wounded tuft, hair bleeding out from my inexpert aid all the rest of the day. And I hated Frank. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Well, when I was 5, we lived on a street called El Camino de la Luz in Santa Barbara. A cul-de-sac. Perfect for running amok with little to harm us. Yeah, and our backyard was kid heaven for all the neighborhood kids, including us. Our backyard, well, it sprouted a swing set with a swing and teeter-totter and a slide and a whole set of monkey bars right next to it. And wait. The dream of every little girl. A custom playhouse. Oh, built by my brilliant grandpa. Oh, this was no toy, but a fully functioning wooden house with concrete floors, thank you very much. Just like a small version of my mom's working domain. And my grandpa, get this, even made all the furniture for the playhouse. Half size or less to fill that awesome rectangle with real windows that opened and closed with a paper-like substance for glass and a Dutch door. Dutch door. Oh, yeah. Yeah. We had a wooden oven with burners and a stove with a wooden shelf and a sink with fake faucets for real water and a table with numerous chairs and a sofa and bed with pillows. Oh, and dishes galore. Well, to say that we were famous for our playhouse, was an understatement. Here's the deal. We liked to play with everyone who came over to our house/amazing kid yard. But the Miller boys from next door, they were ill-mannered and turned my playhouse into a version of their own messy house, casting things about with no regard for my careful decorating and pre-planned scenarios. Stop it! Stop it! Well, one day, for some reason, they were dropped off, forced upon me. So I had to take action. Oh yeah, I locked all the windows and the Dutch door, telling the devils, just like my mom would say, go outside and play. But the Miller boys weren't buying it. They banged on my door, oh, and they came close, they came close to ripping through my windows, and then they climbed up on the roof. Lucky there was no chimney. The next thing I knew, the oldest Miller boy had fallen off the roof. Behind the playhouse, squished against the wire fence, flopped into the weeds, face first, hands shielding his pudgy parts, and ended up breaking both his arms. Not a good day for the Millers. But I never had to play with those Miller boys ever again.
Yeah, I had an occasional busted lip or two, splinters in my foot, egg lump on my forehead, but nothing compared with the frequency of busted heads experienced by my cousin Dickel. Yeah, Dickel. Yeah. Well, Sundays after church, my daddy's side of the family congregated over at my Aunt Marie's for donuts, dinner, and games. Do you remember that? Well, during those times, her youngest son, Dickel, tow-headed and clumsy, would inevitably have an accident of some kind of sorts. While with all my cousins and I running around and chasing each other up and down, yelling like banshees, Dickel would be toddling after us, trying to keep up, keeping pace. Well, next thing you know, Dickel was down and on the ground, a crimson tide bleeding from his head on his head. Well, the first time, we all panicked and we screamed for his mama. Aunt Marie, come quick! Well, my Aunt Marie, she came running and found her little Dickel down and bleeding from the head. She wrapped a terry towel around his head and carted him off to the hospital. My cousins and I were sure that he had lost most of his brain. But that's not what happened. No, Dickel was resilient, and soon he was up running around trying to keep pace. Oh, and the second time he fell and busted his head open, we screamed again, Aunt Marie! Well, we were positive Dickel had bust open the Frankenstein stitch the doctor had put in there from the first time. By the third time, it wasn't uncommon on a Sunday afternoon to hear one of us shout, "Devil's down!" And we returned to our play.
Oh, broken bones. Yes, yes. Truly traumatic. Though, no one in our family ever broke a bone. No, I don't think so. Wait, but I can't say the same for Janet Hansen. when we left Santa Barbara, but not because of the Millers. We moved to Ojai, and a short distance up a small hill, 1/10 of a mile in fact, was Seesaw Road. This is the road where most all my friends lived, yeah. There was Carol and Denise, yeah. And way further up on Seesaw Road, it became wild. Oh yeah. So a trip past my friends' houses became a real hike. Oh, in fact, the Bluebirds did hike to the end one day. Yeah, to that impromptu playground where the fresh grasses flourish, fed by a mysterious creek or perpetually broken pipe. I don't know. It was all lanky grass mixed in with broken pipes large enough to climb on and through. Oh yeah. And so the Bluebirds, the whole troop, we rushed into that mixed up mess and perched and bounced and sang Bluebird songs. You remember this one? John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt, his name is my name too. Whenever we go out, the people always shout, there goes John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. Da, 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 da. Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt, his name is my name too. Whenever we go out, the people always shout, there goes John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. Yeah, 20 wild birds boinging and bouncing on 2 dangerous pipes like uneven parallel bars from hell. Boing. But we were no gymnasts. All of a sudden, Fat Janet slipped off the sliding bike and hit the ground into the greens and broke both her wrists. Whoa! Bones, broken wings, protruding. Ew! What a disaster! Yeah, well, Janet got 2 casts. Left the Bluebirds.
Well, accidents do happen. Accidents are a part of life. They're a part of growing up and a part of a person's childhood. And along with this came those familiar ointments and salves. You know, the remedies in this world of childhood accidents. My grandma's favorite, camphopheny. Oh yeah, she smeared it on every scrape and bruise, old sore mosquito bite. In fact, one time my brother fell off his bike and he bruised his privates. Oh. Grandma's solution. Dang! You can hear him yelling all the way down the street. We screamed for days. Iodine, mercurochrome, monkey blood, it tinted our skins like war paint, a testament to our childhood battle wounds. And when we grew up, these scraped knees and bruised elbows, they were just preparatory inoculations for administering first aid to our own children. Oh, like my daughter, Caitlin. Yeah, you know her. She has this uncanny ability to lodge body parts in unusual places. Oh, once in a while I find her head stuck between the stair railings or a knee jammed between a fence. And one horrible, really awful day, she stuck her head out the car window, forgetting the warning.
Don't stick your head and your arms out the window, you'll get them chopped off.
Well, she hit the automatic window button, rolling up the window really fast, trapping her head between glass and frame. She yelled for her grandma, "Grandma!" to release the window. But we laughed, because this was normal for Caitlin. But to my horror, the next day, her neck was swollen like a purple plum.
Oh.
What a disaster. Well, it didn't stop as showed. It just got funny. One Halloween, she dressed up like Poison Ivy, dyeing her long, lovely hair a flaming red, and she attached artificial leaves to her eyebrows with glue.
Oh no.
Well, the next morning, she screamed for me.
Mama!
Well, I came in and found that half her eyebrows had been torn out. Spirit gum coagulating the fine hairs like crystallized icicles. Oh, another disaster. I mean, really, what was she thinking? I mean, spirit gum is used to attach hair to skin, not objects to hair. Yep, she had a real problem. So I tried all the usual solutions. You know, baby oil, peanut butter, ice, even spirit gum remover, nail polish remover. Nothing worked. I mean, there was no solution. So I got out the hard artillery. Nurse, ready? Pumice stone. Oh yeah, I attempted to pumice them off. Oh, didn't work. Nail clippers. Couldn't even grab them. Tweezers. Forget it. Scissors. Not yet. And then finally a razor. I attempted to shave off those eyebrows, but my hand just shook. I couldn't keep the blade steady. I was laughing too hard.
Oh.
I mean, those hairs were like hard candy. And the blade just slid across the surface. Finally, I did use the cuticle scissors, and I attempted to cut the fine hairs from their roots. And so, with the scissors, I trimmed each little gel drop of glued hair. And with each trim, like a surgical magician, I transformed her appearance. With the first trim, 2 little caterpillars kind of rested on her eyebrows. And with the second snip, 2 little Hitlers appeared. And with the final snip, when all evidence of eyebrows and glue were gone, and her forehead bare and naked to the hairline, a red-headed Queen Elizabeth sat before me. Oh, what moms have gone through.
What a disaster.
It was funny. It was a funny moment. But these are moments reminding us we gotta laugh at all our little
Natural disasters. Head and shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Head and shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Head and shoulders, knees and toes.